Today we are working on a T31 Nissan Extra with a CVT with the 2.5 litre engine. Here is everything you'll need. We got our CVT fluid. Make sure it's the correct one. This uses Nissan NS2. So make sure you got your correct specs. We've got some cleaner. Got a funnel. Wrench 19mm or 3/8. A screwdriver to pop open the dipstick. I'll show you how to do that. A basic ratchet set and a drain plug and filter. And you'll need some car ramps and possibly some wipes to clean up any oil messes. Here we have the dipstick, which has a lock so you cannot remove it. You want to get your flathead screwdriver and run it along the middle and then pop it out. This model has a dipstick, newer ones wouldn't. So here we have, oh, one sec. Get the camera to focus. A cross-hatched and 2 indents for cold and hot. So make sure before you do any draining that you're able to fill it up. Before you start draining, make sure you have no leaks or anything around it. Check your gasket's good and you have no leak. This is just brake cleaner I just sprayed, so it's all good. Have your bucket ready. I have measurements so I can see how much has came out, and I like to use a wrench. It's 3/4 or 19mm. You can use a socket or whatever. So yeah, just remove your drain plug and yeah. So here I am about to crack it loose. Okay, make sure your bucket's in line and start to loosen the drain bolt. Oh, here we are. Not too dirty. Pretty clear. So now you just gotta wait for it to drain. Make sure you catch your drain plug. Just put that to the side. Nearly at 4 litres. Might want to move the bucket a little bit. Looks like nearly 5 litres out. Because of the angle, I think the torque converter is allowing a bit more fluid out. But yeah, now you just gotta let it drip and dry. Could take a while. But yeah, just be patient and let it drip out. Once the transmission has come to a drip, reinsert your drain plug. Now clean the area with some brake cleaner. Now remove your oil can, oil drain pan, and then measure how much has came out. In our case, around 5 litres, 4.5 litres has come out. So from your basic tool set, you'll need a ratchet, an extension, a 10mm bolt, and a swivel head adjuster thing to get into the tight places. So I'm going to start off with the bolts at the back, which is slightly covered by the subframe. So I got my little swivel head to get into the tight places. Now you can take off your swivel head. And start loosening the rest. I'm just going to start by breaking off the rest of the bolts. Now to do the other side. Now that all the bolts are loose, I'm just going to start slowly unscrewing them. Now just be prepared for fluid to start leaking, and make sure you got your oil can ready. Oops. Here we are. So we're gonna get some draining fluid coming out. So I got three bolts left, and it's slowly draining out the side. So just make sure your pan is ready. Okay, so now we got a couple bolts left. You want to support the pan, and it's still dripping, so it's gonna make a little mess. Oh, I got, this will be 2 bolts after I remove this one left. Okay, 2 bolts left. Okay. Now we've got 1 bolt left. So with this last one, you want to be supporting it to make sure there's no excess leakage. Okay, all the bolts are out. So now you want to support your pan, and very carefully. Oh, the pan's a little stuck. Oh, we've got a bit more fluid coming out. Slowly drain that. Oh. There we go, our gasket was a little stuck. So here's our pan. You want to just let that drain. You got our transmission filter and our bolts. These have been a bit magnetized, so they got a bit of muck on them, but they're pretty clean. We got our pan magnets. So I'm just going to let this drain for a while. Three, 2, 1, action. Now we're going to change the transmission filter. So get your 10mm, and you want to remove these. So you might need your ratchet, wherever it is. Where have I put it? Here we are. Okay. Now prepare for some fluid to leak. So I'm just breaking them loose. Okay. So I'm going to remove them one at a time. prepare for some more fluid to leak, so still have your pan ready. Oh, that's one. So we've got a short bolt. Do this side. Nice and oily. Got another short bolt. Now I believe this is a longer bolt, so just make sure to keep track. Hold the throat up. So here we got the longer bolt. Just make sure you remember the order. So now we can remove our filter. Now it is a seal, so it might be a bit of suction. There we are. Oh yeah. Bit metallic-y. Now make sure that rubber seal comes off when you remove it. Otherwise it's going to be stuck in the seal. So just strain everything out again. Yeah. Just make sure you have a rag ready for any excess oil. Or paper towel, whatever you prefer. Here is the valve body, and that hole is where the dipstick comes out of, where the filter sits. Before you put on your new filter, make sure you remove the old O-ring, and before you install it, make sure you put some fresh oil around it to lubricate the O-ring, so next time it's easier to do. Okay, so now I'm going to line it up. Make sure the seal's holding, and be mindful that you put the bolts back in the correct order. So I'm going to start with the longer one first. Just going to start by hand tightening them. These are 10 mils. Get my second bolt. Make sure not to cross thread. Oh, I might start with this one actually, this one. Here we are. Just screw it on. Okay, now they're all hand tightened on. Grab your wrench. I don't know, I'll just put mine. Oh, here she is. Now this was snug, so I'm just going to put it back on snug. Not too tight because it's aluminium, so you don't want to strip it. Okay, now it's on nice and snug. Okay, now they're all on snug. I'm gonna get some brake cleaner and some paper towels and wipe off some of the bolts that have become magnetic from the magnet. Just spray a little brake cleaner and oh yeah, look at all those metallic specks. Just clean it off. Okay, so I'm just going to wipe down each and every bolt. Make sure they're all clean, ready for some fresh NS2 fluid. I've been using Penrite for many years now. This has towed T31 multiple times for hours, never any problems. So I use Penrite in all my cars. I use NS3 for the Pulsar, got the Matic S Penrite for the Nissan Patrol. They all work the dream, never had any problems. I know it works. It's good lubrication. Now that all the bolts are being cleaned up, I'm going to slowly clean where the gasket sits. Just get some brake cleaner and shine it up a little. Prepare the mating surface. Now I'm going to clean the pan. So start by removing the magnets. They're nice and tied on. There we are. So get your magnets out, put them to the side. These are nice and tied on. Now you want to clean these up because they prevent any excess shards of metal from the CVT. It collects on them, so if you clean them, the fluid will be cleaner. So I'm just going to put them to the side. So now we've got the pan. I'm going to start by wiping it down. Oh yeah, nice and dirty. This has 125,000 kilometers on it, I believe. It's been serviced, but the filter has never been done, or the pan has never been dropped. So now I'm gonna go use some brake cleaner. Got my brake cleaner. And I'm just gonna clean up the pan and the magnets. The pan and magnets are all clean, all shiny. I just use brake cleaner and paper towels. I cleaned the mating surface for the gasket. I cleaned the drain plug. Magnets are all clean. So now it's getting ready to put the gasket on and be installed. Now I'm gonna prepare to put on the gasket. Did it flex? No. Okay, we got it set on the gasket now, which took a while, but we got there. So now it's just a matter of, I'm just going to put the bolts in to hold the pan up. Now this will take a while, so just take your time. I'm going to start off with the hardest bolts first, which are the ones I have to use the little swivel on. Okay. So it's just a matter of hand tightening all the bolts on now. And then I'm just going to do a gasket patterns so start from the middle and go side to side, which they recommend doing for this CVT. And before you fill it up all the way to CVT, you want to pour a little bit in and make sure and check for leaks, just to make sure you have no leaks from the gasket. So once you get all the bolts in, you want to clean it up again, then add a little fluid, check, make sure there's no leaks coming in, and then you're good to go. I recommend doing a fluid change every 25,000 kilometers or so, depending how hard you work it, if you want them to last as well. And filter change every 100,000, and clean your magnets. If you do that, they'll last quite a while. The problem with most people, they don't change it because they believe in the maintenance free, never have to do it fluid, lifetime fluid, which is silly because the lifetime of the fluid is not that long, and then they wear out and they fail prematurely. That's why CVTs have a 6% failure rate on them. Now I got all the bolts screwed in, I'm going to start from the center and work my way out and screw them all in. Not too tight because it's aluminium, but just snug so it doesn't leak. Okay, I gotta get my swivel head. Wherever I've put that again. Okay, here she is. Mind you, to get to these bolts at the front of the CVT, I had to remove the bash plate, so I also have to be reinstalling that before we drive off. So now we've got our CVT fluid, our NS2. We're going to break the seal. And we're going to start to pour it in through the dipstick hole. So we drained about 5 litres, so this is a 4 litre container. So we're just going to start by filling this up. Most people reckon to pour it sideways for a smoother output. There we are. And that's 4 litres in.
Okay.
Now we get in our car and we start it up and go through the gears. It's normal. Go through each and every one of our gears, hold it for 5 seconds. Manual mode. Back into drive. Then reverse. Hold it for a couple seconds, then back to park. And now we're going to turn it off and recheck the level.